The reason why you have not fully embodied your feminine energy is because there's still a part of you that believes that being a woman is weak. There is still a part of you that believes that you being feminine is actually a weakness and not a power. It is you being weak and not being strong. And there's a part of you that actually view being your masculine energy, doing all the things and hustling and grinding as being strong. But here's the thing, girl, being in your feminine energy is the most powerful thing that you can ever learn on earth. And I am sharing this with you as a woman who has created success from a masculine place and as a woman who has also created success from a feminine place. And I can tell you it's totally different. And here's the thing. The reason why most people think that feminine energy is weak is because they think that feminine energy is all about being sweet, being soft, being nice, and letting people walk over you and not having a say, not having a voice, not knowing how to do anything, and just being like, yeah, yeah, like sweet and nice and all of that all the time. Why that is part of feminine energy, it is not the entirety of what feminine energy is, because feminine energy is deeper than just light feminine energy. Being sweet, being soft, being nice, being nourishing is simply part of feminine energy, which is called the light feminine energy. And the light feminine is all about being sweet, being nice, being gentle, be open hearted, and it's all about the heart center. Now, which is all about love and fun and all of that. But here's the thing, there is another flavor to feminine energy, which is the dark feminine. And this part of the feminine energy is resided in the womb center. And this is the center that brings groundedness, that actually brings solidity to the energy. And this is what dark feminine energy is. So, dark feminine energy is actually the other flavor of feminine energy that actually makes the light feminine energy feel safe, right? And I'm going to explain this in deep. I'm gonna explain it. Det. I'm gonna explain this in detail later on in the video. So, feminine what the heck am I doing? Okay, so the dark feminine energy is all about the shadow side of the light feminine energy. So, this is a side of the feminine energy that is hidden. It is that side of light feminine energy that is behind the scene, that when light is shined upon, it shows up behind the scene. So this is what I'm going to put an example as, right? I'm sitting here by the beach, anyway, beautiful ocean, and by the tree, right? And this is the sunlight. Now I think I can show you. I should show you now. This is the beach, this is ocean. That is the direction of the sun, right, that way. And as you can see, where I'm seated here, when light shines, what happens? There is a shadow that comes on the light that shines on the leaves and on the tree. And what I am experiencing is the shadow. When you are standing under the light, you don't see the shadow. If you're standing like in between the sun and the tree, you will never see the shadow. But the shadow exists, and it is the part that is hidden. And this part that is hidden is actually created when the light shine on the shadow. So this is the part of us that was suppressed and that was like dimmed down and pressed when we were growing up, right? Remember, as a kid, you were told, oh, you're too loud, you're too sensual, you're too this, you're too emotional, you're too um had headache, stubborn, whatever it is. These were part and characteristics that we all possess, that we needed for our evolution and growth. But because maybe the people that and the environment we grew up in didn't tolerate that, that part of us was disregarded. And as a result, we were shamed, guilt, and bullied for it, so much so that we decided to take this part of us, which was the part of us that was here to help us get grounded and have a balance in our lives so that we are not taking advantage of us. We literally threw it away. So here's what is going to happen to you if you don't have that dark feminine energy. The very first thing is that you are going to be taken advantage of by people, predators, men, women, friendship, relationship, and all of that. When you don't have a dark feminine energy, which is that energy of groundedness, right? Remember, which is the energy of being bold, being confident, speaking your truth, being seductive, and knowing your value and boldly being able to state your value without blinking. When you do not have that energy, what is going to happen is that people are going to walk over you. So when I talk about people walking over you, this is going to be something like, people just taking advantage of your kindness and your compassion, people taking advantage of your love, which is the light feminine and the light side, people taking advantage of your generosity, which is still the light side. Remember, I said the light feminine, it's all about the heart space. So it is open. It's about giving, compassion, love, fun, play, and all of that. But when you give and you do all of that in compassion and you don't have that dark feminine, right? You are gonna actually not live life, the best life that you have, because you are gonna go around being a victim every day, right? Now, the next thing is that when you don't have this activated, you are gonna see yourself as weak, as a people pleaser, as having no boundaries, and you're gonna always do things and regret later. And you're actually just gonna go through life being a victim. That's what I'm gonna say, right? But this is not something that you have to be afraid of. Now, the very first thing is that most people are kind of like, they just discard the thing like, it's dark feminine. I don't want to be dark. It's too demonic. This is not about being demonic. This is not about being evil. Now, again, the term dark is because it is the part of us that is revealed in the dark, that is revealed when no one is watching, is the part of us that wants to come out, that we don't give permission to come out. And as a result, it is hidden and it's in the dark. So it doesn't mean that it's evil, and this is not does not mean that it is a part of you that is you should throw away, or it's about demonic and evil things. Instead, it is about being good and learning how to navigate life as a good person and learning to be the best version of yourself so that nobody takes advantage of your good, and so that you can use your love, your joy, your fun, your peace to serve more people, because the world needs your love, the world needs your gift. We all need you in this universe right now, right here. So the light feminine is soft, sweet, kind, and gentle. The dark feminine, it is firm, it is confident, it is bold. She knows her words, she speaks her mind, she knows exactly why she is here, and she's not gonna be apologetic. Like, it's very non-apologetic, and it is very grounded in power. It is very rooted and grounded from the womb space, which is why I say it's very grounded. Now, the very first thing is that the key is to mastering your dark feminine energy is understanding balance, because the dark again comes from a part of us that is hidden, and because this part of us is hidden for a long time, we can literally suppress it and let it lay low for a long time. So this is what I mean. If you do not know, or you do not have mastery over your dark side or your dark feminine side, what is going to happen is that is going to transcend and transform into manipulation, rage, and rage. Now, imagine when you were always told you don't have to be so loud, you don't have to dress so maybe revealing, or you don't have to be that that, like all the rules that were in place, and as a result, or you have to be nice to people when maybe you really felt like your intuition doesn't want you to give this person a chance or greet them, and because your mom like you have to greet them as a child, and then now you are going against your intuition. So because we were suppressed, that dark side and dark shadow side can literally transform into rage and manipulation. And this is why you see a lot online recently, people saying they are doing dark feminine energy, and when you actually see, it is actually the wounded dark feminine energy. It's actually the shadow energy. It is actually the rage part of it. But when you do the inner work on it, when you do the inner work on all of these things, what happens is that you get to transmute and transform it into light. And then it becomes this solid ground on which your light feminine can lean on and feel safe. Because, for example, it is being, for example, like you are sweet, you're nice to somebody, and you tell them, I love you, and all of that. And then they want to like take advantage of you, and you're like, nope, I'm not going to tolerate that. Like that unapologetic, and that woman who knows her value comes out and speak forth. That is when it is healthy. The dark feminine is healthy and it's good, right? And it's empowering because it's here to support you. But most people, when you think of dark feminine energy, they only think of the seductive side, which leads me into the next point. Now, the dark feminine has so many flavors, and one of the flavors is actually the wild woman archetype. So the wild woman archetype is a woman who is literally led and guided by freedom. She just want to be free. She just want to, be in the desert or forest and just be free and just be alive. So, and this woman, which is actually the flavors that you will see in what I call dark feminine energy, is not just like all about seduction. What you will see in this woman is that this woman is very mysterious, which is one of the characteristics of dark feminine energy. It's mystery. You have to be mysterious. You have to learn to be mysterious. So mysterious simply means you're unpredictable. So it means that when the people think they know you, they don't really know you, because you just review parts of yourself and you hold back, right? So if you want to activate your dark feminine energy, one of the first thing you have to do is learn not to overshare. So when I talk about oversharing, I mean about your personal life, your private life, and things like that, especially on social media or to people, or when you meet people and you go on date. Learn to give little and let the rest be for the mystery. Or when people like are engaging in conversation and talking too much, you just listen. You just listen, and you get to review a little about it and hold some back, so that there's a little bit of mystery in it. And this is what, guys, I tell you, can, like, it's gonna make your dates and your love and fun life, even with your partner, your relationship, go next level. Why? Because people don't like when everything is just so open and it's just so, I know everything. When there is like, I know everything, there's no longer play, there's no longer that adventure, that the person is gonna like come after you to adventure, to see what more is here. I want to know what more, I want to see more, I want to experience more. So add a little bit of mystery to your life, right? That is you embodying the dark feminine energy. Now, the very next thing is now we are going to take the other archetype, and I'm just going to be going back and forth between the two, because again, I want this to be fun and mysterious. Now, the other archetype, that the dark feminine energy that really embodies the dark feminine energy, is the lover or archetype, which is more, right? So the lover feminine archetype is the archetype of, like, she's very sensual, very connected to her body and her, I'm not going to say the word here, but she's very connected to her body, and she knows how to be connected to her body and use that. And the one thing about this woman is that even though she's very seductive and she's connected to her body, she has firm boundaries. Now, this is a difference between someone who is just loose and in that dark side that is wounded and not healed, which is just loose. Anybody can just come and have her and have a share of her. She just like she's seductive, but she just open to everybody and everybody has access to her. The woman who has a dark feminine energy, the woman who has a dark feminine energy, she's seductive, like she knows how to, but that is not given to everyone. Like, she knows how to turn it on, and she has boundaries around who has access to that. And so it literally means that you don't get access to her anyhow because of her boundaries. And this woman, her boundaries are very important to her. If you want to get in trouble with her, break her boundaries. Or you just want her to cut you off, break her boundaries. So this literally means that you need to start creating some boundaries in your life. You need to start creating boundaries. And what are boundaries? Boundaries are simply standards that we create for ourselves in order to keep ourselves loved, protected, and safe. So these are things that we tolerate and what we don't. And when it comes to creating boundaries, one thing you will have to understand is that you will have to, first of all, decide where the boundary is needed, what the boundary is going to be, and what the consequence of breaking that boundary is going to be. So, for example, you look at your life right now, maybe it's your dating life or in your relationships, and maybe you go on dates with people and you don't you just give them maybe all the information. It could be, again, like around being mysterious. You could decide to create a boundary there that I'm going to only share this much. And if somebody tried to push me to share more, this is going to be the consequence to trying to break my boundary or breaking my boundary. Because here's the thing, it is not a boundary until it has a consequence when people break it. For example, If you have a boundary, you can set a boundary that nobody calls, I pick no call after 10 p.m. or nobody calls me after 10 p.m. Now, that boundary is not for you, for others. It's not for other people. It's for you, remember. So because it's for you, you're going to create a consequence that, okay, if someone calls me after 10 p.m., this is going to be consequence. No response, right? No response. And when people do that, you simply hold your boundary by actually giving the consequence of the boundary. I don't know if, like, I know you get it. Like, simply have the boundaries, but the consequence for breaking the boundary is you holding the boundary in a sense. So the way you create boundaries is identify the area of your life that you know that people have been maybe breaking and violating, right? And the things that you've been tolerating that you're no longer available for. Look at in what area of your life, maybe finances, love, relationship, and all of that, are you tolerating things that you shouldn't be tolerating? And then ask yourself, okay, how am I, like, right now, being in this area of my life, tolerating this, I feel like oh my God. Oh. Okay. All right. So you're gonna ask yourself, in what area of your life are you? Look at your life right now. In what area of your life are you tolerating things that you shouldn't be tolerating, and allowing things that you shouldn't be allowed that make you angry, hurt, painful? And in what area of your life are you not really living in alignment with what you truly desire on the inside? Those are the areas that you need to create boundaries around. So, for example, identify maybe in your spending time with your friends, maybe you have friends that just come over to your house unannounced, right? And when they come, you're not satisfied, but you keep tolerating it because you don't want them to get hurt. You don't want them to see you as a bad person. You don't want them to see you as a bad friend. So you keep tolerating and letting them come around. Now, I want you to identify in that area. Okay, say it's in my friendships, right? And it's about allowing people to come to my home and stay more than they should or unannounced or anything, right? And ask yourself, after having that clarity around the area you're in, the cleaner is here, and ask yourself, what do I need to do in order to make sure that this doesn't happen? Now, in order to remember, you are not trying to change another person because you can't change their action. You can't change what they do. You can't change how they think. The only thing and the only person you can change is you. You can change how your actions, you can change what you tolerate, and you can change what you don't. You creating boundaries is not about trying to change another person. It's not about trying to get them to do what you want. And creating boundaries is not even about communicating your boundaries to other people. It's for you, because boundary is for you to implement and not for other people to implement. And when that boundary get broken, simply the consequence come up. That is that feminine energy. You don't have to have a conversation around it. You don't have to talk about it. You simply let that part out. So when, for example, you say, I don't receive calls after 10 p.m. and somebody calls you after 10 p.m., you simply don't answer. You don't have to reach out to them and say, oh, sorry, I missed your call yesterday. I said that, I told you that I'm not going to pick call after 10 p.m. No, you are unapologetic. You are unapologetic because you have become someone who doesn't please people. And because you've understood that people pleasing is a disease, and it's more painful to the people, and it's more not good for the people that you're trying to please and for yourself. So what you need to do is to get honest with yourself, get honest with other people, speak your truth, live your truth, and guess what is going to happen? You are going to attract the right people into your life. So that is the other thing when it comes to dark feminine energy. So create boundaries, and signs that you have issues with boundaries is you have is like you really can't say no to people. You people please. You don't express yourself. You don't say the things you really feel like saying. So, and these are the things that you need to work on. And some of these things cannot just be applied like that. You need to do some inner work, inner healing to see, why am I pleasing people? Maybe as a child, that's the only way you were taught. right? And because you have not done your inner work to heal your inner child, you are still attached to receiving validation by pleasing people. And when people like you, you like yourself. People who don't like you, don't like yourself. This is when you need to do your inner work and actually heal that part of yourself and become the person who doesn't need validation from others, and give yourself the love that you are looking for from other people and the validation that you're looking for. Now, the other thing about the first archetype, which is the white woman archetype, is that she is very like a trailblazer. Now, she doesn't follow the rules. It means that she doesn't try to copy or follow what is already going on, which is dark feminine energy. It is about doing things your own way. It is about setting your own pace. It is about going your own, creating your own rules and making your own way and opening the way for others to follow you. Why? Because dark feminine energy women are trailblazers. They don't follow the rules. They don't follow the trail. They are the way. They are the evidence that other people need to actually do what is possible. So the dark feminine, it's all about you really entering in your power and deciding that you are not going to be the person who copies and who is like other people. You are going to be the person who actually leads and create the way for yourself. So if you notice, most dark feminine women who have embodied this, when they step in the room, what happens? Everybody's looking at them. Why? Because they have discovered their own uniqueness and their own secret. And this is what you are going to do. What is the thing about you that no one else has? And if you think that you don't know, here's the thing. Instead of trying to do things like other people, dress like other people, be like other people, talk like other people, I want you to get to know yourself and fall in love with yourself and do things your own way. Do things the way that light you up. Do things the way that bring you alive. Do things the way that really show who you truly are at the core. Not the way that people expect you to, not the way that your coach, your mentor, or someone that you're following on social media is, but the way that you feel that is easy, sweet, and nice and fun for you. For example, maybe you see a dress and someone wears it and it's so good on them, and someone who is not in their dark feminine energy is immediately going to copy that dress and wear it the same way, everything head to toe. But someone in their dark feminine energy, they are going to be inspired by that. They do not copy, they get inspired. And guess what? They always create things that don't exist. Like they create a new way of doing things and they become this icon that people look up to because they are so tapped into their own creativity. They are so tapped into their own sensuality, and so they are so grounded in themselves, and they know their value, they know themselves, and they don't know their worth. So how do you get to this place? For personally, for me, it has been a journey of self-awareness, learning to know yourself. Look at your own life. What are the things that work for you? For example, in content creation, for example, what is the way that you can best serve people? In dressing, for example, based on your, what do you feel most confident in? It's not about what is working for another person. It's about what is going to work for you, because you are unique and you are you, and no one can ever be you. So this is what the woman in her dark feminine has understood. And that is why, guess what? They always had a trailblazer. They always are the women who go first. They go first and other people follow. Now, the next thing, which is more about the seductress archetype, is now let's talk about its seduction. Like this dark feminine, it's about knowing the power that you have as being able to get all that you need and what you want without even trying, using your language, and the power that you have, the seductive power that you have as a woman to get anyone to fall in love with you. Now, there's an amazing book that I love about seduction, and I'm going to actually recommend that you read this one first, right? The 48 Laws of Power, because that book is more about seduction than anything. If you understand that book, you're going to understand how to actually get to seduce anybody, right? So and aside from the things mentioned in that book, one of the things that I'm going to say that you can do to start being more seductive is to actually learn what seduction is. Because most of the time we think seduction is, maybe being revealing and all of that. But seduction is simply learning how to get to influence people and get people to listen to you and to like pay attention to you, if that I can say that. So learning how to be seductive based on your language, the way you talk, the way you walk, Now, walk like a feminine, walk like a woman. And in the way you talk with your natural tone, right? And when it comes to seducing, maybe men, for example, on a date, learn to be more playful. Have fun and play. Don't be too serious talking about what is your job, what is like, there's no interview here. Just simply have fun. And how do you have fun? By simply like literally becoming that little girl, right? That little version of you that was playing around, didn't care about anything, because life is not that serious. We just make it to be serious, you know. So I'm not going to focus so much on this, because truly, this is something I am still working on, and I'm still embodying seduction. But I know it's one of the deep things of the dark feminine. And I don't mean the manipulation seduction that is being taught out there, where you have to use your body and all of that. No, I'm talking about real science and seduction, how to actually captivate people, hypnotize people. I'm not going to use that word. No, how to captivate people and actually get into their minds. That is what I'm going to say about that. Now, the next thing is about seduction is that it's confidence. And sorry, the next thing about the dark feminine energy is that you're going to become more confident. Build your confidence, girl. I can't emphasize this. And how do you build confidence? Now, first of all, know your self-worth. You are worthy just as you are. You don't need to change a thing. You don't need to change your hair, change your look, and anything about you to be more worthy. You are perfect just as you are right now. God wasn't having a bad day when he made you. Your nose is perfect. Your size is perfect. And everything about you is perfect. And here's the thing. It is never about you not being good enough. It's always that you are never going to be good enough for the wrong people. Maybe it's not just that you're not good enough. Maybe it's not that you're not worthy. Maybe it's because you are presenting yourself to people who do not know your value, and you are not good enough for you. So here's the thing. If you are surrounded by people who are not good enough for you, move, change friends, let them go, outgrow them, and work on yourself to become a better person. Now, that is the grounds for confidence. Know that you are worthy. And if you have self-worth issues like I'm not good enough, I'm too this, I'm too that, I'm not this, and no, I'm not that, which is grounded around scarcity, the things that you lack, I want you to do deep inner work around worthiness, right? And this is going to be deep inner work to ask yourself, when was the first time I felt that I wasn't good enough? So you can do a journal on that and write down the problem. When was the first time I felt that I wasn't good enough? What happened? What actually traumatic incident happened that made me feel like I wasn't good enough just as I am, right? And who said it? And the second thing is, ask yourself, who said it? Who said you are not good enough? Who said you're not perfect the way you are right now? Because you are. In the eyes of God, you are. In my eyes, you are. In the eyes of the people who see you for who you are, you are. So that is the first thing. The second thing to building your self-confidence is that you're going to trust yourself. Learn to trust yourself. Trust your intuition. Trust your guidance. And self-trust is built by actually doing the things you say you will do. So for example, when you say, I'm going to wake up at 6 a.m., wake up, because when you do break your word to yourself, you're not just breaking your words, you are breaking your confidence, because confidence is built upon being tested over time. So if you say, I'm going to do this, and you don't do it, you don't keep your word to yourself, you don't do the things you say you're going to do, you don't show up yourself for yourself the way you say you're going to show up, guess what? It's going to happen. You're not going to have confidence. And because you're not going to have confidence, you're always going to feel like, no, I can't do this. I can't do this. And then the next thing is that learn to get out of your comfort zone. Sorry. Learn to get uncomfortable by getting out of your comfort zone every day. So every day you're going to do something that is going to expand you. And that is going to scare you. That is going to freak your mind and get you like, are you crazy? And you're like, yeah, I'm crazy, because expansion only happens outside of your comfort zone. You don't grow in your comfort zone, you contract. So when you start doing things that you're uncomfortable with and you get out of your comfort zone, guess what is going to happen? You are going to start doing these things, and then you're gonna, the first time you do it is gonna be hard, the second time is gonna be hard, the third time is gonna be hard. But as time goes by and you keep doing that and you keep exercising that muscle, guess what is gonna happen? You're gonna become so used to that thing. And when you become so used to doing that thing, what is going to happen is that it is not going to become part and parcel of you. So you have to embrace discomfort, and you have to embrace being out of your comfort zone. And in fact, from today, start living out of your comfort zone. And if you're doing anything and it doesn't scare you, and I'm not going to say scare, like it doesn't scare you, I want you to know that it's not expanding you. Why? This is because when you do something for the first time, your brain doesn't have evidence that it's going to work. So your brain is going to think that is danger, and the brain is going to prevent you from doing that thing because your brain subconsciously believes that you're going to fail. And if you fail, it's going to hurt. So your brain is trying to keep you away from feeling the emotion of failure, the emotion of a rejection, the emotion of lack, the emotion of the thing that is going to happen, or rejection. Anything could be any emotion that maybe you experience in your childhood. So because you experience that emotion, anytime you want to do something new, something you've never done before, your brain is going to come up with stories to tell you, do not do this thing, because if you do this thing, you're going to fail. If you do this, you're going to die. It's going to try to stop you. But the fact that you feel that fear doesn't mean stop. The fact that you feel like you want to not do that thing now doesn't mean stop. It simply means that you are out of your comfort zone. So I want you to open yourself up to that and embrace that. The more you live in your comfort zone, the more you're going to become confident, and the more you are going to trust yourself. So here's the thing. Self-confidence is built in two things. Self-what? Self-confidence. And the third, self-respect. You need to respect yourself. And you know your worth. Now you know your worth, that you're worthy not because of what you've done, what you have. You're worthy because of who you are. You're innately worthy, and you don't need to change a thing to be. And here's the thing. I want you to start respecting yourself, because here's the thing. When you respect yourself, others are going to respect you. I always say the standard you set is what everyone else is going to follow. If the standard you're setting for yourself is disrespect, not taking care of yourself, not looking good, not being in your best, other people are going to give you that. If the standard you're taking is people making jokes about you that are actually abusive, and you are laughing with them, that is you disrespecting yourself. So next time when somebody breaks your boundary, or somebody makes a joke, for example, like, oh, you have such a fat eyes, and they are laughing, do not laugh about it, because that's you disrespecting yourself. It's not them disrespecting you. Because when they disrespect you and you respect you, they're going to follow and respect you. So set the standards, and everyone else is going to follow. And here's the thing. This is how you're going to embody your dark feminine energy. And of course, if you would like to do your inner work to fully heal from your past, embody your feminine energy, and build a successful business, I am your girl. Come, let's go do it. Let's go design our dream life, because I believe that we innately can have it all: the cash, the wealth, the relationship, and everything that we desire, without compromising any. And that is what I'm here for, to help you to have a rich and complete life, a life of all-round success and abundance. Thank you so much for watching this video. Hit that subscribe button and share. And I'm excited that you've watched it now. Thank you so much. See you in the next one.